Hi, I'm Darren.
All right, let's roll.
Do it properly, Blake.
I am.
I drove here.
Let's go. I know.
It's just like, oh, come on my podcast.
Yeah, cool. There's two sides to us, guys. There's
So
this.
when are we starting?
We're on. We're rolling. Yeah.
Go.
There's two sides to us, guys. Today I've got Darren Manser with me, who I know and love like my older brother, and but he has a very academic, professional background that I was a bit privy to when I first met you, which was like 22 years ago, I think. Mm-hmm. Would have been about right.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, and then since even then when I met you, you had this crazy thirst for knowledge. Mm-hmm. Would you say everything in and around healing?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely. And to be honest, the major theme for me is easing people's suffering. So mostly my own suffering.
Yeah.
And then extending that out to other people's suffering. And suffering is just when we're fully in our pain, but also associated with that pain.
Yeah.
Because I think there's two things. There's pain and there's suffering.
Yeah.
So it's like you can actually be in pain and not suffer.
Right. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me more.
So how much am I attached to my pain? How much am I attached to the pain? And there's a differentiation between the two. Because we can say, my back is sore. Dude, you're a spirit. You don't have a back. You're in the body and the body has a back. And then you're saying, I'm sore based on identification with the back or with the pain.
Holy shit. Hang on a minute. Okay. I'm going to come back into this world, bro. Go there again. What would you say?
Hi, I'm Darren.
No, you're a spirit.
Yeah. So we're a body, mind, and spirit.
Yeah.
And what was one of the most transformative things for me is when my mum passed away.
Yeah.
So we were viewing the body. So mum was there in front of us. Mm-hmm. Mum wasn't anywhere near me. So mum's suit that she was wearing in this lifetime was in front. And I was just waiting for her to hop up. She looked awesome. But she wasn't there.
Yeah.
So it's like that really, hit home super hard about how much we are actually a spirit living in a lump of meat.
Yeah.
And when I identify that, so the greater I identify with the lump of meat,
Yeah.
I am the body. That's when we will suffer in greater proportion. The more we don't identify with the body, the less we will suffer.
I hear you.
So we can experience the pain in the back, but we're not attached to the pain in the back.
And what's the key? What's the key to not suffer?
Witnessing, observing. Because it's observing the coffee cup, observing the water, observing your hat, observing your shirt.
Being present.
Correct. So for example, it's like, you throw away my chair and it's like, oh dude, that was really important to me. It was a special chair. And, my dad brought that chair on a boat that he paddled across the ocean and did, I'll get you a new chair. No, you don't understand. That was a really special and important, I'll get you another chair. And it's like, no, but that chair. So the level of importance I place on that chair will determine how much I suffer when that chair is no longer with me.
Wow. Love that. I love that. So, bro, let's go back. Let's go back a little bit. So you're an Adelaide born and bred boy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then give me a bit of the journey. Where did you start? Where did you move to? And
I grew up in country South Australia where there was like...
Whereabouts?
Berry in the Riverland.
Hey, Berry. Yeah.
Yeah. And on the Murray, we didn't have filtered water, so you'd fill up the bath and it'd be brown. I remember playing cricket for a season. You start with white clothes, and by the end of the season, they're like yellow from just being washed.
Yeah.
And yeah, like for me, it was a struggle of being accepted, where I felt like I never fit in, and I was always different. I was always not necessarily doing the things that my age group or my age demographic was doing. Like I never really resonated with drinking alcohol or just partying and being a dick.
Yep.
So for me, it's like I found solitude in playing golf. where I loved the space of playing golf. I loved the feeling associated with hitting a good shot. I loved the conversations with older people. I loved just being in the presence of people that actually, wanted and valued my opinion. So would tolerate school, do everything I possibly could to get through school, and then eventually, as soon as school finished, I'd walk to the golf course, and became quite good at it, and then made a state team. And from there, I needed to do a weights program to be better equipped, and then ended up enjoying that probably a little bit more than the actual golf side of things. And as a result, I just started looking into health and well-being and performance, and people getting the most out of themselves, and just how can we be better as human beings. And as a personal trainer, I loved the idea of health and fitness. I love the idea of people feeling better within themselves, and the self-esteem associated with, just feeling better in your suit, in your meat suit. Liking the reflection you see back in the mirror, and that sort of then led to frustrations as well, where some people would feel better and some people wouldn't. Some people would comply and some people wouldn't. Some people would do it and other people wouldn't. And it's like, what's the reason why? And for me, it was about the emotions, the mindset, and then also physical limitations. So then I studied massage and acupuncture and aromatherapy and iridology and natural therapies and herbs. And so I wanted to understand how we can make the most of the internal chemistry. And that was really good. And then did magnets and laser therapy, and was constantly looking because ultimately, once again, it's like I want to help ease people's suffering. I want to help to enable people to have a greater experience in their life. And then ultimately that led to kinesiology. And kinesiology means study of, and kines is movement. So I study people's movement. And for me, for the first time, doing even just basic kinesiology like Touch for Health, it associated different muscles with different organs. So for example, as a massage therapist or a personal trainer, like you got pec major. So you got pec major sternal, pec major clavicular. So pec major sternal in kinesiology relates to the liver.
Right.
So liver emotions are anger, resentment, frustration, and irritation. So then finally, it was bringing everything together. So it's like in personal training, you can train the pecs and make the pecs bigger and better. But in kinesiology, it's like if your pec's not firing or one's bigger than the other, then potentially it's actually a liver issue. Or it could be an emotional issue that's locked in the liver. So the way I like to look at the body is there's 206 bones in the body, or there's 206 filing cabinets for us to store our stress. There's 639 muscles in the body, or there's 639 filing cabinets for us to store our stress. So as a massage therapist, used to work on the muscles. Whereas as a kinesiologist, it's like that muscle's tight for a particular reason. Is it because it's just a tight freaking muscle? Or is it because there's a liver issue? Or is it because that's where you're storing your emotions associated with that organ?
The filing cabinet, bro, I've never heard that before. I love that. That makes complete sense. Here we go. How much of your trauma, do you call it, or suffering?
Yeah, either way.
Yeah, is passed down from future generations. Can it be stored in past generations? Thank you, mate. From past generations. So when you're born, obviously you've got your body and your muscles, and does it already take form and store in your muscles?
100%.
It does.
So and this is where I feel like we've got generational things. So the way I like to picture it is that we're a spirit. So we're in the spirit realm, whatever we believe. And it's like our parents get together. And it's like the more loose our parents' morals are, the more spirits are available to come through that person.
Right.
The more selective the parents are, the less spirits there are available to come through this person.
Right.
So for example, if you have two, male, female, get together, they're drunk, they don't give a shit, they're loose with their morals, it's almost like the secret formula to have a baby.
Yeah.
If you have late 30s female, she's ticked all the boxes, okay, now it's time for me to have a baby. Because she's been so selective in everything she's done, the number of spirits that want to have the experience that they're offering is limited. So normally what I'll say with clients that want to have a baby, I'll normally say, go get drunk.
Get rowdy.
Get amongst it. and literally, like lose your inhibitions a little bit.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times they're so controlled and they're so, box ticking that it's like, how many spirits on the other side actually want to come into that experience?
Yeah. I was going to quickly say the words of encouragement for feminine energy that I know and understand is be radiant and free. Mm-hmm. Like if you to encourage feminine energy, go and be radiant and do whatever it is for you to feel free. And sort of similar sort of thing, what you were just saying, like, not go and get drunk, lose your inhibitions, but inside of all of that, it really means the same thing.
Well, definitely, and it's like the buzz thing at the moment in the coaching space is the masculine and the feminine. So it's like the feminine is the wild storm where, the hair's going all over the place and there's just, a little bit of, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. And it's like the masculine is the container. It's like, yes, honey. I love you.
Yeah.
How else do you want to express yourself?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. So it's like the masculine is very safe. It's very secure. It's very stoic.
Yeah.
It's a place where that is, you picture the ocean. It's very, very deep.
Yep.
So the feminine is more on top of the ocean where it's like the waves here and the waves there and we're doing this and the current's that and they're doing this. Whereas the masculine is like the deep water where it's like, it's okay. We have the safe container here. Absolutely. You express yourself. Come back when we're good.
It's interesting how people, everyone, we all do, we quickly stigmatize or put feminine energy and we just say that females, masculine males, and we don't, I think, really grasp well enough that we're both of those things. Like me as a male, I am both feminine and masculine, and understanding or getting your head around it or letting go of any bias that you have around feminine energy, female, masculine energy, male. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's probably something I would want to say to anyone listening to this now. You've really got to be an observer, step out of what you understand and know, and let go of the connection between male, masculine, and understand that males have both feminine and masculine energy.
Yeah. I think so to a point.
Tell me.
So the way I like to identify with it is that, yes, we have the masculine and feminine energy within.
Yes.
But when you're loving your kids,
yes,
you're not going, oh, I'm a little bit more masculine here.
No, that's right.
And this is where that love is love.
Yes.
Mentality comes through.
Yep.
Because love isn't masculine. Love isn't feminine.
It's everything. It's both of them.
Well, correct.
Yeah.
So this is where it's like you'll have the yin yang symbol, the masculine and the feminine.
Yep.
So that'll happen to a point where there's a little bit of masculine, a little feminine, a little bit of masculine. There's a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yep.
Until you literally bypass that, and then all of a sudden it's like it is. So masculine and feminine, yes. Yin and yang, yes, but at some stage there's a disidentification with that, and there's just a beingness, there's just a presence, there's just a I amness, there's just love.
It's interesting. Leonie just read Shannon Lee, I think her name is, Bruce Lee's daughter.
Oh yeah.
She just wrote a book. I think it's called Be Water, My Friend. And Leonie said it's the best book she's ever read. She just put it down, and but we were talking about yin and yang, and she said he used to refer to it as yin yang, not yin and yang. It is one. And just as we were saying that, it's come up. That's interesting.
Yeah, massively. And also too, I'd like to close the loop with regards to the generational stuff that you were talking about before. So with the generational things, like I find that, yes, as we're born into this family unit, there's natural pros and cons associated with it. So there'll be a physical weakness associated with being in this family, whether it's a heart weakness, whether it's a lung weakness, whether it's a liver thing. So there's certain lessons that we have being in this family tree. And then there'll be certain emotional lessons associated with being in this family tree. We're programmed from basically conception to age 7, age 8. And that's where most of our programming comes in.
Right.
We get downloaded from the family, from the universe, from the society, and all these different types of things.
Right.
And then we spend the rest of our life living out those programs. So for me, it's like when I'm working with someone, it's like we have inherited So it's like, what have I inherited from my family? And then I'll just, tongue in cheek going, you can blame your parents for that. So that's like a genetic thing.
Yep.
But an acquired thing is something you've created. An acquired thing is what you've bought into this lifetime. So it's like some people have bought into breast cancer. Some people have bought into, actually that's a good point. So with breast cancer, it's like I have some females have the gene associated with breast cancer, so they'll get their breast chopped off.
Right.
That gene hasn't been expressed yet, so why are you doing it? So because you have that genetic mutation, it's the potentiality of breast cancer. But then what some of these proactive women were doing were actually just lopping off their boobs.
Whoa.
And it's like, that's quite barbaric. And just because you have the carrot seed, you don't have carrots yet. You still need to plant it, you still need to water it, you still need to weed it, you still need to look after it, and then you'll get a freaking carrot. And that's the gestational period. It's like, it takes 9 months to grow a baby. It takes X number of weeks to get a carrot. Like there's, just because you plant a seed, it doesn't mean it comes to fruition straight away. And that's where it's like that delayed gratification. Because we could have a thought of having an elephant in here, and if that instantly manifested, boom, there's an elephant sitting on the table. It's like, I'm glad we're not instant manifestors. Because it would be so chaotic.
A million thoughts a day.
100%. So then all of a sudden it's like, it's not a matter of having a beautiful thought. It's not a matter of manifesting our destiny. It's like, how much can you actually focus on that one thing? Because it's our ability to manifest is dependent on how much we can focus on one thing. More often than not, we can't actually focus on a thing for more than a minute, 2 minutes.
That's cool, man. That's a bit to take in. So back to say ancestral or what do you call it? Is it systemic trauma? Is that would you call it that?
Yeah. So the way I look at systemic trauma, it's like systemic is the entire system of the body. So then that's broken down into subsystems. And so it's like we have the human body itself, then we've got the nervous system, then we've got the muscular system, then we've got the skeletal system, then we've got the hormonal system or whatever. So we have different trauma based on what we've inherited within this. And just because, you go to a doctor and it's like, any family history? Yes. Ooh. And it's like, for me, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Unless you keep going down that path. So it's like, if there's a history of liver cancer, it's like, well, we need to be looking at anger, resentment, frustration, irritation, depression, because they're the precursors to liver disease. So the way it works in my realm of the world is, if there's liver disease, there's been things that have had to manifest in life in order to create that.
Right.
So if there's excess anger, that's a liver problem.
Right.
If there's excess frustration, that's a liver problem. If there's fear and anxiety, that's kidneys.
Right.
So depending on what emotions you're experiencing is dependent on what organ will be affected at some stage. Now, we can be angry right now, but it doesn't mean it's going to transfer into disease straight away. Once again, we're not instant manifestors.
And obviously, because you're living out your life day to day, you're going to feel emotions, and they're good to feel, because there's probably, you can't just sort of sit and be a rock or stoic or whatever it is you want to call it, not have anything feel and affect you, to keep your body in great form or whatever it is that you call that. So what do you do? Is it just a problem when it becomes a pattern?
So the way I like to picture it is that love is always present.
Yeah.
Peace is always present. Like, there's not more love in this room tomorrow than there is today.
Yeah.
There's not more peace in this room. We could have 1,000 different people come in here, and we could have 1,000 different experiences based on how that person shows. So the way I like to look at this, once again, an analogy. We learn through stories. We learn through metaphors. We've all heard of a computer. So the way I like to picture it is, it's like, oh, my computer's slow. No, Dick. You've got 48 windows open. You're downloading this. You're uploading that. And it's like you've got only 100% energy in your computer, and it's divided between 48 different things. I feel tired. I feel lethargic. No shit. You got your attention on 48 different things. You haven't let go of the past. You haven't let go of your ex. All of a sudden, it's like, I'm unworthy, or I'm trying to prove, or I'm doing this. And so for me, it's like the love and peace that's in this room, The level you're able to feel that love and peace is dependent on how many windows you have open coming into that room. So enlightenment is literally having no windows open.
Right.
And coming in going, hey man, how you doing? Love you, bro. And the more we can do that in the different experiences, then we are love.
I'm with you.
Because it's like the sun's always present. We may not see the sun because of the clouds. It doesn't mean the sun's not there. And it's like, how much are we identifying with the clouds in our life? How much are we identifying with the shit in our life? How much are we identifying with the problems in our life? How much are we identifying with, all these things that are taking us out of the present moment? The present moment's always here. There's always love right here.
Yeah.
Our ability to experience that is dependent on how many things I'm holding on to. The more things we're holding on to, the less I experience the love in the present moment.
Boom. That's awesome, bro. What's as a practitioner, people come in and see you. What is there like is that the common thread that people are literally just living in the past? And
yeah, but and it's like, this is where you can't have fear of the past. Because the past has already happened. You know what's happened. You can only have fear of the future.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is where it's like, you can have trauma from the past because it's like, oh my God, if I'd only did this or I said this, or in an argument, it's like, oh man, I would have slayed if I said that. So one of the things I find, it's like, we as a human, we haven't evolved much since caveman times.
Yeah.
Where we've got 4 major systems is the way I like to language it to people. We got the fight or flight response.
Yeah.
Digestion, reproduction, and immune system. So fight or flight. Holy shit, there's lions and tigers and bears. So it's all based on getting away from, making sure I'm safe. So when a person comes in, they'll come in with a myriad of different symptoms. But realistically, it's fight, flight. Holy shit, the lions and tigers of my life. And the lion or tiger in their life might be their boss, might be their wife, might be their children, might be their ex, might be child support, might be whatever. But if they're running away from lions or tigers, it's not the time to digest their food. Because physically in the jungle, if I'm running away, it's not the time to do a shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
based on survival. It's like, hang on, lion.
Just lay one out.
It's a number 2.
Okay, cool.
And so we put all of our effort and energy on survival.
Yes.
And same thing, it's like if we're running away from a lion or a tiger, it's not the time to have a baby. It's not the time to get hard, get wet, reproduce or anything like that. Survive.
Yeah.
If we're running away from a lion or a tiger, it's not the time to heal. So this is where you'll find a person will go on a holiday, crash, get sick. Why? Because they've removed the lions and tigers of their life, and now they can put the energy into healing. So it's the same thing. It's like, like go. It's like, I can't get pregnant. I can't. I can't get hard. It's like, yeah, because there's so much stress in your life. Like, you're not a viable option right now. God, Mother Nature, the universe doesn't want you to have a kid.
How much does self-awareness play in this role of healing?
I think a lot.
And actually, what does self-awareness mean to you?
Well, self-awareness, I think some people inherently have a better vehicle. Some people are born into a Datsun.
Okay.
Poor buggers.
Nothing wrong with Datsuns, though.
And some people have Subarus, and some people have Ferraris, and some people have, and using that car analogy, it's like some people inherently have a very durable body. Some people are just very robust.
Yep.
Some people can abuse their body so much. So one of my clients is a very functional drug addict.
Right.
So ice is terrible. He actually functioned really well on ice because it took the edge off.
Yeah.
So once again, it's like I wouldn't recommend that to anyone.
Yeah.
But he was able to function in his life because of the vehicle he had. Some people will go into the gym and they'll just get big really quick. Other people will never have legs.
Yeah.
What?
I was waiting for a little...
Oh, I'm just saying, you don't have any calf muscles.
They're getting there. Look, they're getting there.
No
right?
matter how much you try.
No, look, it's only 5 days a week now. So. Yeah, and some people can smoke their whole lives.
100%.
Live a healthy life.
100%.
Drink
Because
every day.
part of that's attitude too. So you see little old Betty that's 107 and it's like, what's the secret to aging? She goes, I have a shandy and 4 cigarettes a day.
Yeah.
But it's my perception of.
Yes.
So it's not the cigarette that's the problem. It's your perception of the cigarette that's the problem.
Yeah.
So it's like, cigarettes will kill you. We're told that over and over and over and over again. Now, I don't believe they're healthy, and most people don't have the consciousness required to make them inert to them.
Right.
So I would say avoid them.
And there's also the argument too, like too much of anything is bad for you.
Yeah.
And how people would usually probably smoke cigarettes too. The addiction, it's like, 20, 30, 40 a day. Like if you ate 20, 30, 40 bloody apples or something a day, there's for 10, something's probably going to, there'll be an effect from that.
And that's where it's like anytime we specialize, there's a problem.
Yeah.
So it's like if you specialize in your chest and just do your chest, then you're going to be imbalanced. Like if you're going to specialize in your finances, your relationship's probably going to suffer.
Yeah.
If you specialize in your relationship, your finances are going to suffer. If you specialize in your kids, then there's always a consequence. So it's working out what is a tolerable factor for you. What's acceptable.
Yep.
And then going, am I actually okay with that?
Yeah.
I normally say there's 2 major rules that I have. One, find something you love doing.
Yep.
And this is one of the things that I'm really proactive with my kids, even talking about it now. And it's like, I have no opinion on what you do for a living. But what I will have a say in, is it in your heart? Tell me how you feel when you do it. So it's like my first rule is love what you do. And then do that as much as you possibly can.
Yep.
The second rule is I won't have any say or input in who you bring into the house in your relationship. But what I will be saying is, are they in your heart? Because it's like you're the one that has to live with them. You're the one that needs to be with them. So if they're in alignment with who you are and what your heart is, have at it.
Yeah.
So find something you love doing and do it a lot. Find someone you love doing and do them a lot.
Amen. Oh man, there's lots of things, man. My brain is just firing and
Fire away, brother.
far away. One thing I notice with like a younger generation that come and work with us, when you say to someone, love what you do, I still feel like you've got to break that down for this younger generation.
But it's like there's no concept. So think like a millionaire.
Yeah.
Bro, I've got $17 in my account.
Yeah.
Okay, let's think like a 20 air first.
Yeah. Yeah.
A million's too far away. So here's a $20 note. This is what it looks like. This is what it smells like, and get used to that.
Yeah.
And it's almost like what we need to do is like, there's been so much pie in the sky thinking.
Yeah.
That the distance between where I am and where I'd like to be is too great. So we just go, didn't work.
Yeah.
Where for me, it's like the impossible becomes possible when we're completely surrendered to it.
Yes.
And so when we're surrendered to our goal, we get to our goal so much faster.
Yeah. Yep. And like what you were saying before, when you love what you do, I think you break it down to a point where what are the activities on a daily basis that you'd love doing? Like you go to work, do you want to pick up a shovel? Do you want to dig a hole? And that you might love that and have some mates around you and have a chat. Like, and if that's your day and you will love doing that, then great. You think about so many people, I know when I was a bit younger, finance, that whole, the perception around finance was like this cool thing. You're in suits and you're making money and you're driving flash cars. But when you really think about it, like I worked in that space for a little bit, and it's like you wake up early, you sit in a shitty office, shitty cubicle, you have a phone, a computer, and you're in this box, and you don't really, the interaction that you have, it wasn't for me. It was like, no, that's break it down to my daily activities. I wasn't happy doing that every day. And then obviously that feeling of however you're feeling, doing that, not enjoying it, not fucking loving it, and that's who you become over a certain period of time, and then you manifest what you manifest.
Yeah, definitely. And the way I like to language that to people is it's like we have be, we have do, we have.
Yes.
So we want havingness.
Yep.
Havingness is the car. Havingness is the house. Havingness is the holiday. So then we think, what do I have to do in order to have that? So I need to do the journaling. I need to do the breath work. I need to do. But ultimately, it's who do we be? We're not a human having. We're not a human doing. We're a human being. So ultimately, I love doing this because of who I be doing that.
Yes.
So whether it's gymnastics or whether it's the weights or whether it's surfing, it's like, who do I be doing that activity? So it's like, where do I be my best?
Yeah. 100%. It's
And it's just keep showing up.
yes.
Like, so I love who I am in this space.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah.
And as a parent, it's being so loving of them that I don't care what they do.
Yeah. So I think it's so important for kids to try so many different things, right? Like it's because you have to, how do you know what you're going to like and what you're not going to like?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I solely believe I'm a product of that. And a lot of my mates call me a serial entrepreneur. And I'm like, no, I was just trying shit to see what I loved and what I didn't like. And as an example, again, a young fella that worked here with us, this was his first job. And he could roll in here, you know, he could not have a shower. He could wear thongs and he'd come in and everyone was fun. And it was just this cool place, music's playing, he does a bit of work and whatever. And is in a creative space. And he had no perception of fucking go and dig a hole and see if you might love that. But there's so many things that what you're doing right now, man, you think you've got it hard. And it's like, you're actually, like, in my opinion, you have one of the most amazing jobs and activities to come to every day, but I'm doing you an injustice of leaving you here. And I let him go because of that reason. I'm like, man, you need to go dig some holes.
100%.
An abattoir, do it, all that shit.
And this is where you'll find children of multi-billionaires.
Yes.
There's no appreciation of the wealth.
Yeah.
Athletes that are so gifted, they've cruised their way through all age group stuff.
Yeah.
And they're literally insanely gifted. There was an Olympic athlete that I worked with, and literally one of the most gifted athletes I've ever seen. Like 6'6", 6'7", and I remember going to the gym and I'm lifting weights, and he's got his Olympic activity the next day, and he just starts lifting my weight that's totally not his sport related, and just did one more rep than me just to prove he could do it. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But the ego associated with it, and a lot of the times too, it's like there's no appreciation for, you know, whatever.
What they have to work or don't
Correct.
have to work so hard for.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And that's where it's like, sometimes trials and tribulations are great.
Yeah.
You know, this mentality that we're in at the minute, where it's all about everyone wins a prize. You know, well done. So it's like, you know, the fat little boy or girl that came sixth, that knows their shit, that now has a ribbon, that now affirms how shit they are within themselves.
Yeah.
You know, well done. But there's no, you know what, you sucked.
Yeah.
I did some swimming, and I was a state champion a couple of times in swimming.
Yeah.
But I came fourth 6 or 7 years in a row. It pissed me off. All I wanted to do was to get on that dais.
Yeah.
And so sometimes failing is phenomenal because it actually breeds a competitiveness within you where it's like, no way.
It's a healthy balance of what I call it's positive motivation and negative motivation.
Yeah,
And
stick with the carrot.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's like, you know, we can motivate the horse by beating the crap out of it, or we can motivate the horse by having a carrot in front of it.
Yeah.
And us as humans, we're exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
So we can go through life and it's like, you know what, never again. I'm never going to experience that again. And that's what pushes us on.
Yes.
Or we can go, you know what, I'm really inspired to create this and this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And there's not better than, you know, one's better than the other. It's just, you know, at a particular point in time, through a particular reference, you know, one is more suitable.
Let's talk about discipline. do you think, and let me try and relate this, I guess, to, I want to keep pulling back in this conversation of, it's a deep topic, how you were talking about kinesiology and the relationship between emotional baggage, trauma, suffering, and it being connected to, is it just the muscles or the bones, or it's everything? Everything.
Like glands, skin, bones, ligaments, tendons, like all of it. Everything that we have here
Right.
is the storage. And this is where you can feel it. When you haven't met someone before, it's like, I don't know, that dude, I just don't like him. Yeah. And it was like, there's just a weird feeling in this. This room's good.
Yeah. Thank you, mate.
But you can just
I did it myself, actually.
Yeah, but you can just pick stuff up.
Yes.
And it's like we're not even attuned to it, but the nervous system knows. So it's like, a dog will come up to you and a dog will instantly know whether you're a friend or a foe. Their tail is a great barometer. It's like, up, wagging. Okay, this dude's a friend.
Yeah.
Tail goes down. It's like, no, be wary.
Yeah.
And that's a dog. And so we as a human have just as much, if not a more finely tuned nervous system, because we have free will with our mind as well.
Yeah. And, okay. So, because you've got you said before, be, do, have. And if we're a result of our parents and our developed trauma since becoming, being a human being, then obviously you've got to be aware of certain emotions that are being triggered on a continual basis. So how can routine and discipline play a role, or what am I trying to say here? So can routine and discipline, getting up every day, being and doing a certain thing, help push you through a particular result? Or let's just say, weight's an easy one to lean on, because it's something that I think everyone can relate to. And some kids are born with the genetics where they can be a little bit more chubby than not. And if they're waking up every day, making a commitment to being disciplined and just training, and is there anything else that they could do or should do whilst doing that?
So once again, going back to that masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
Masculine's activity.
Yeah.
So you're asking, how can I be more masculine in this activity?
Right.
Masculine is doing shit.
Yes.
Feminine is being.
Embracing.
Correct. So feminine is having a picture in your mind, in your heart, of how I would like this to turn out. So feminine is understanding. It's like the vision is, the direction is. So it's like, if the child doesn't have an image in their head or their heart of how they would like to be, what's the point in doing all the masculine stuff?
Okay.
So if you don't know where you're going in the maps, where are you going?
It's something that also what's the healthy balance, do you think, with having a goal? Like, so being because to reach somewhere, we said it before, right? You're disturbed with where you are because you don't have that, and that's where you want to be, right? But then when does that become suffering because you're not grateful about what you have and where you are?
So, and I think...
Does that make sense?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So one of the biggest things is the gratitude piece. So, thank you. Thank you for this coffee.
Yep.
Thank you for this wobbly table that we have here.
Yeah.
Thank you for the shirt. Thank you for everything. And it's like, that attitude of gratitude.
Yes.
So the more grateful I am, the less defensive I become.
Yeah.
So what's really interesting is that generally a feminine thing is to be really busy in the mind at the end of the day.
It is.
Yes.
Right.
So you'll find a female will be out of balance. They won't be able to switch off at night time. Whereas guys, we go, oh my God, that's a good day. Head hits a blow, bonk.
Yep.
So when a female's out of balance, their mind will race and they'll get that rat mind.
Right.
And this is where it's almost like in epidemic proportions, females are now going, I've got ADHD.
Yes. Yeah.
So online, they're 38, they're 46, they're somewhere in between there. It's like, oh my God, my mind doesn't switch off. And I was like, I got a rat mind. And it's like, I must have ADHD. And it's like, and it's like, you know what? It's a lot of the times what I find, there's a protocol specifically for defensiveness.
Okay.
It's guard up.
Yes.
It's constantly needing to protect myself.
Yeah.
The opposite of having your guard up is faith and trust. The opposite of having your guard up is gratitude for your experience. More often than not, we're not grateful for who we are and what we have.
I heard this amazing thing the other day with it was on a podcast, and who was it? Jocko. Do you follow Jocko?
No.
Oh, I'm going to send you this guy, man.
Okay.
Yeah, he's amazing. But he said how we're biochemically different, male and female, and you spoke about the caveman. We're not too much, our blueprint's not too different from that today. He said, when was the last time, and I ask you, when was the last time you feared for your life?
30 years ago?
Yeah. The guy he asked as well was like, probably 5 years. And he was a combat martial artist. And he said, women, he goes, it's not every day, but he said, they walk, they go to their car or the mall. There's this innate fear that's come from being so vulnerable physically that they could be taken advantage of. And there's cultures and places in the world where that still happens today. And he was talking about how that is some sort of systemic trauma or being passed down onto women that they're obviously also trying to adjust with in today's day and age. And I hear you though, and now it's got this label wrapped around it. ADHD, geez, I almost think though it's a positive now. Like ADHD, there is like a really cool push behind it as a brand, being like, if you've got ADHD, you're a hyper learner. You're proactive about, and I feel like back in the day, it used to be like talked about and shunned on, like it was a negative thing. But now, so many people are coming out on social media going, I've got ADHD and I'm proactive and I'm doing this and that, and it's because.
But once again, it's doing this.
Yes. What do you mean?
Like I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm proactive, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I believe, and once again, this is the delusion of being a healer. It's seeing a person perfect.
Yes.
Now, what perfect is for them is them. But it's like, as a healer, I don't identify with what you've come in with.
Right.
Because if I identify with you having ADHD, how can I help you?
Correct.
If I identify with you having back pain, how can I help you? If I identify with you having cancer, how can I help? You're already doing that.
Yeah.
Like, you already have that identity of the cancer person.
Yes.
I don't need that. I see you as healthy.
Yeah. That's cool, man. I love that.
Because it's seeing a person how they can be. It's seeing a person's true potential. And it's not identifying with how you be and how you've been. It's seeing how loving a person is. Everyone's innocent at their core. No one goes out of their way to do something dangerous or anything like that. That's where you can have a person that's committed a murder, and it's atrocious. Like, no one should do that. And those people should be locked up. But then the loving mother doesn't agree with what the son did, but I love who he is, and that's why I'll keep visiting you in jail. So it's getting back to the unconditional state. And it's like, I don't identify with any of the things that you've done in your life. I identify with who you are at your core. And when I identify with that with you, totally unconditional loving. Hey, bro, I've got to be honest with you. Yeah, man, it's all good. Like, I love you.
That's right. So what is, I don't know, like if, we covered a lot there.
So one of the things for me is intention.
Yes.
So a lot of the times, like, intention is huge. And it's like, for me, intention is how we search affects what we find.
Yeah.
So how we search affects what we find. If I want to find out why you're a dick, I'm going to find out why you're a dick.
Right.
Oh my God, he did this and he parked his car like that and it was slightly on an angle and I had to do this and I had to squeeze in and out of my car and it's like blah, blah, blah. Intention. If I want to find out why you're a great guy, oh my God, the way he held Leonie's back as she walked through the door like that, or the way he opened her door to, like, oh my God. And this is where you can have 10 different people read the same newspaper and get 10 different stories.
Yeah.
Because it's like their intention going into it. So it's like, when you start a business, what's your intention? When you start a relationship, what's your intention? When you start anything, what's your intention? What's your goal?
Yeah. Oh man, what's your goal? We had a conversation this week, and the amount of people that don't have an intention or a goal. They're just in a place because
Floating.
bro, floating. But we're all so guilty of it, and because why are we guilty of it? You just end up, you sort of like look up and you go, hang on a minute, why am I out here? Yeah.
Actually, here you go. Bit of a backstory for Blake.
Hit me.
So I met Blake at massage school just down here on the Gold Coast. What did you do? What job did you do to get to the massage school?
Oh, Pizza Hut.
Yeah, but where did you work in Dubbo?
The abattoir.
Abattoir.
Yeah.
So why were you working in the abattoir?
Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So.
What's that, mate?
No. Well, if my memory serves me better than yours, no. Well, it was to make money to move up here.
100%. What did you want to do up here?
I wanted to become a natural therapist, and I got into massage first, which I then it gave me what I was sort of looking for with working with people, and so then I just was in sports massage and that type of thing. Yeah.
But the point is that when you were in the abattoirs aren't fun.
Fuck no,
Right,
bro. That is the pinnacle of everything I compare a great job against.
100%.
Yeah,
but this is where it's like, what gets me through working in the abattoir? How long did you work in the abattoir for?
Oh shit, not long. Like maybe 6 months.
No, but that's a long time
To be in jail, it was.
Yeah, correct. But it's who I'm going to be at the end of being in an abattoir that got me through the abattoir days.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, we're in a situation and we don't know why we're in a situation, but I have a goal of being better than this. So this is a stepping stone for the next thing. And it's like, I know you were great at massage, but it's like massage was a stepping stone for the next thing. What did I learn in the process of massage? And then all of a sudden, I like you were talking about before, encouraging our kids to do many things.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's not about the things that you do, but it's who you become in the journey of doing those things. And it's almost like I want you to fail your way to your love.
Oh, bro. Amen. Far out. Man, one of my great business mentors, he has been on a ride. If you listen to his story, and I'm just like, give me one thing. All right, one thing. What is the best piece of advice you could give me or anyone else that wants to achieve their biggest dreams and everything like that? And he said, fail faster. Fail faster.
Yeah.
When you think about it, and when you really break that down, he's just like, I wish I failed faster at everything I tried. Faster.
Because for me, it's, it didn't work out. No, you're one step closer.
Yep.
And it's like, I don't know what I want to be. I don't know what I want to do. And it's like, that's cool. Just do a heap of shit.
Yep.
And it's like, I don't want to play the violin. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I still don't know what I want to do. Awesome.
Yeah.
Like, keep crossing shit off.
Keep going.
Yeah. And this is where I think a very valuable activity is literally making a list of all the stuff you want to do.
Yeah.
And for me, it was learning German, it was learning Greek, it was learning Italian, and it was doing all these different things. It's like, you know what? I don't want to do any of that.
Yeah.
There's Google Translate and all that sort of stuff, and I don't want to put in the effort to be proficient because it's not actually going to enrich my lives. It's more of a cool thing to do. So then it was more of an ego thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing with a guitar. I want to learn the guitar. No, I don't. Like, I don't want to spend 2 or 3 years in becoming really good at that. Like, that doesn't feel good to me. We actually lived together at one stage.
Yeah.
And I remember you were doing all this pop locking, dancing and all this sort of thing.
Yeah, bro.
I can't dance for shit.
Oh, I wouldn't quite say that.
And I remember it's like attempting to copy your stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it was nourishing you. You really wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, it's like, it was like I was sort of doing it to fit in.
Yeah.
And I was doing it to, trying to be like you and have fun and do something. But it wasn't who I was.
Yes.
And that's the difference. Like, it's being okay to understand that this isn't who I am. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
And keep, we literally zigzag our way to success.
We do. And it's so important to come back, I think, be in that moment and really reflect and think about, did I enjoy the activity or whatever it was that I was doing or who I was today when you were doing it? And for yourself, like say, use the dancing as a reference. I used to catch up with my mates. It was my music. I loved like the music and the hip hop and in that generation, but like also too the physical activity, the endorphins, and expressing myself and with friends and breakdancing, all that crazy cool shit will keep them fit. And I think the act of doing that, fucking loved it.
Well, see, and for me, it was cycling and triathlon.
Yeah.
and it wasn't fun, but there was a certain element of being, fun pushing yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like, how fast did I go, or how many watts did I push today versus yesterday?
Yeah.
And the camaraderie of the group, where you're literally hanging around people cycling, not saying a word, and just hammering, and that was a group that I really loved being involved with.
Yeah.
Until it got to a point where it's like, actually, this isn't nourishing me anymore.
Right. Yeah. That's a beast, man. Like, yeah, I forget that you're on that journey. And so, what age bracket were you training like a beast?
It was
Cycling and triathlon, was it?
Yeah. So I did, I really wanted to be a golf pro, and
You still playing golf?
nah.
Done.
Oh, yes and no. I've got my clubs. So actually, here's a cool story. So
Got clubs.
yeah, I've got clubs.
Give me a round of applause.
Yeah. So
That's my surfboard just there.
do you actually surf?
Nah.
I got one in my car.
Do you?
No.
A little bit. I surf.
So I played golf last Father's Day with my son Tyson, and so Tyson is a left-hander, and I don't have any left-handed clubs, so we had to basically play the right-handed.
Yeah, right.
But what was really interesting is that I just had a great day. So the first hole is a par 4. I've hit it down on the green, and then Tyson's gone through the trees and hit it over the bunker. And anyway, he holds this 15-metre putt for a birdie.
Oh.
And I'm like 6 feet away, and I'm like, holy shit, my son's about to beat me unless I hold this putt.
Yeah.
And so I hole it, and we're both running around the green going, oh my God. And it's like we both birdied the hole, which is pretty cool.
So he can play.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And once again, it's just natural talent and just having fun. Anyway, I had an absolute day out, and I shot 71 that day, which is like really cool for not playing much. It was actually the best round I've shot.
Right. Hang on, give me some sort of comparison, mate. No.
So the par for the course is 71, and I shot 71.
Shit. So that'd mean you have no handicap?
Yeah, correct.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So it was cool where had a
Bro, hang on a minute. Stop.
what?
What are pros like?
So if you could shoot 71 or 72 all year round, you would make a couple of $1 million a year.
Fucking okay. All right.
But that was one day, bro.
Just went out.
That was just like the next day might be 90. But
Did you go back the next day though?
Oh no. I was like, I'm never playing
leave
ever
it there,
again.
put that on
I'm
the
done.
shelf.
Like, just put the club just straight to the pool room. Yeah, so it's one of those things that I love being able to do that now, and just hanging out with the kids.
Yeah.
I love, life's moved on from that.
Right.
So I wanted to be a golf pro, and my parents were like, yeah, we'll absolutely support you in doing this. I'm like, sweet, how good's this? I had to get a full-time job, so I worked 38 hours a week, and their supporting me was not me paying rent. So then it's like, that's not the support I wanted. So the support I wanted is for me to be at the golf course 8-10 hours a day and get really freaking good at this. And that's not the support they wanted to give. So I remember at one stage, my parents were very lovingly supporting me, and they actually took me and showed me these golf pros that were sleeping in the car. And they were like, you don't want to be like this.
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah, I do. And they're like, no, you don't. And it was a real thing where they didn't want that stigma attached to the family. Where have a job, have a career, be educated, and that type of thing. So I've reflected on this many times, where if I actually got the support that I wanted from them, then I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah.
So then, potentially, I did get the support I needed in order to have this journey of healing people in this life.
Do you still enjoy playing golf?
I do. But it's more of a pastime now than something that I really would love to do.
No. But just on a day, like you go out and you play. Do you enjoy that?
Yeah.
Okay. Bro, we just spoke about this. Like, you're that talented guy that there's so many people out there busting their balls to get. You probably would have backed it up, bro.
Yeah.
next day.
But the thing for me though is that there's different priorities in life now.
Yeah.
So the priority for me now is the children and their well-being. The priority for me is helping them to become their best selves.
Yeah, right.
And the priority now is to get this message of health and healing, and literally healing is easy. You know, we need to get out of our own way and assist ourselves in being the best version we possibly can be, and for you expressing that in whatever way you see fit within your own heart. Because once again, it's like, I don't care what you do. Do you love what you do? You know, and if that's making sandwich, make the best sandwiches around.
Yeah.
Like, don't go out of your way to make a shit sandwich.
Yeah. Oh man, and I think there's like, it's a bit of a paradox now where social media can make you see other people and compare yourself. Right? The comparison is the thief of all joy. There's that. But also there's this beautiful side to it. Someone was telling me yesterday, he's like, oh, do you know the lawnmower guy or something? I'm like, no. And he's like, so what this guy does, he just took his lawnmower and just, for the sake of it, would just go and mow someone's lawn that they've got long grass, and he'd post it on social media. And I'm like, okay. And now it's just blown up.
Yeah, there you go.
And so there's obviously an act that he's doing where he's helping, he's contributing, he's getting some sort of sense of fulfillment out of it, and he's blowing up, and now he's getting people bloody sponsor him and all that sort of shit. And I'm like, that's amazing. From fucking mowing a lawn. Like, so making a sandwich or anything like that, you can never cross it off. It's really like, try all these things, try everything. And it's like, just forget about everything else. Do you really enjoy what you are doing in that moment and who you are? And that's it, right? It's, can you lose yourself into that? And
Well, this is where I find spirituality. There's two different avenues. One, in Buddhism, they talk about you can become enlightened peeling a potato. So it's not about the activity that you do, it's what do you bring to that activity. I don't want to peel potatoes because I don't feel passionate about it.
right.
But there's certain activities that we could be more passionate about.
Yes.
So I fully encourage people to do something they love doing, but then it's like along the way, there's going to be certain activities within that bigger picture that you're not going to like. So it might be a sales call, it might be, coming to work on a Sunday, or it might be whatever. But it's like it's finding a way to love that because it's part of the bigger whole. So it's like not one piece of the puzzle is more important than the other. They all have equal importance. Or a house. This is one of my favourite ones. A brick at the top isn't more important than a brick at the bottom.
Yeah.
All the bricks have equal importance in that wall. All the different experiences in your life are equally important. And when we value this one as bigger than that one, or in a health and healing perspective, I've got a big problem, then you need a big solution because you've bought into it more. And the more we buy into something, the bigger it becomes, the less likely we are to overcome it.
Yeah. Far out, man. No, that's love it, man. You know, chat. I mentioned before that Leonie read that book, that Bruce Lee book. So I was talking with Leonie, and I'm like, yeah, I knew that. And she's like, how do you? And I'm like, the Bruce Lee movie, The Dragon, with Jason Scott Lee. And she's like, I can't remember that. And like that would be in my top 5 or 10 movies.
Yep.
And gosh, there is this amazing depiction of how they trauma, systemic, whether it's parents passed down. I don't know if you remember that movie. When was the last time you watched it?
A few years ago.
A few years ago. I think they depict this so well, right? Where you remember his father comes in, and he goes, you have to leave. You have to get out of Hong Kong. You've got to go. He's like, where am I going to go? He's like, you need to go. He's like, why? And he says, my demon has found you. And he's like, I don't understand. He goes, yep. This is what he goes. When you were little, we used to dress you up like a girl, and we used to we changed your name so the demon wouldn't think that I had another son because elder brother apparently died, and he said, your name is Bruce Lee. Change it to Bruce Lee. And he goes, and you need to go. And he's like, well, I don't understand. And so many people miss this, right? But what it actually was is his father, like, because the police came looking for him, and that's what he said. That's why he got angry at him. And he was becoming who his father was, and his father was trying to not have
Prevent
him
that.
become what he's been. So he wanted to get him away. And that demon, when you follow it throughout the movie, there's another brilliant scene. I always missed it, but I caught it in this one. Ip Man, his trainer.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
I love the Ip Man's movies.
I actually haven't even. I think I might have seen one of the first ones.
Oh my goodness.
I'll get there. But what he said to him, there's this scene, and he just said, "Your demon will show itself through fear, frustration, anger, these certain things." And he said, and he'll come for you. He won't come for you when you're at your lowest. He said he'll come for you when you're at your peak, which is when you're at your weakest. And I was just like, ooh, far out. But and then when you actually see the movie play out, if you catch it, when Bruce gets that big deal for the American Hollywood company, and he's doing the film, and he should be at his peak, and he's in that mirror room. And then that's when he goes in and then fights that demon basically. But then he comes and he realizes, he's like, my fucking wife and kids have left. They've gone back to America. And he's like, and he fucking leaves, and everyone's like, are you all right, mate? You just blanked out. And he's just like, I'm out. And fucking bails and goes back to see his kids. Bro, how they put that together, there's so much inside of that. And it's so powerful, man. And
a lot of Bruce Lee's philosophy comes from Taoism.
Yeah, I want to get my head in and around this after watching that. I was like,
so Taoism is all about yin and yang.
Yeah, right. Give, get.
So the Tao is actually 2,500 years old. So it's 500 years older than the Bible.
Right.
And once again, it's just another version. And Lao Tzu is a guy that actually created Tao. And the picture is like, it may be one person, it may be multiple people. We don't know. But Taoism is actually infused in modern culture. You just don't know it is.
Okay.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with?
One step.
That's verse 1.
Right.
So it's one of the first things in Taoism. Another one of my favourite ones in Taoism is the Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. So what does that mean? As soon as you open your mouth about an experience, you diminish the experience. So we could be down the beach having a sick time, the kids are there, you know, we're enjoying ourselves, barbecue, and we look at each other and we go, yeah. As soon as we go, oh mate, look at the way the sun is cascading on the water and the way our kids, you diminish it as soon as you open your mouth.
Yeah, okay.
So some of the greatest moments we have is when there's no words to be spoken.
Agreed. Yeah. Shit got deep.
It did. What's your favourite colour?
Give me a couple of your favourite movies, because it made me think. Or when I watched it, I was like, "Fuck, that's definitely up there." That one, yeah.
Depends on the mood.
Just give me what's like. Yeah, so you've probably got like 10 or 20, but like what?
One of my favourite lines in any movie is Shawshank Redemption.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, get busy living or get busy dying.
Yeah.
So one of the things for me, it's like, we don't know how many days we got left.
Yeah.
So literally, I muck around and go, plan as though you'll live forever. Live today as though it's the last day of your life.
Yep.
And then somewhere in between is where the truth is. So it's like with your money, plan as though you'll live forever. Spend all your money today as though it's the last day of your life. And somewhere in between those two is what the actual truth is.
Yep.
And so I think, I love that as a metaphor for life. I love that as a metaphor. It's like, you know what? If you're not loving what you're doing, why are you doing it? If you're not loving who you're doing, why are you doing them?
Yeah. Have you heard Jim Carrey's take on that?
Nope.
He said, when I was young, my dad would have been a brilliant actor and comedian. He was amazing. And he said, but he, for whatever reason, felt he had to go and become, I think it was an accountant or something like that.
Yep.
And so he went into that space, and he said he worked so hard to provide for us and give us everything. And then he said one day he lost his job, and he said, and I saw my dad fail at something he didn't want to do. And so then I thought, well, I'm going to do what I want to do, because if that can still happen to me when it's something I don't want to do, then I'm going to take my chances over here.
Yeah.
And so then he went and got into
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Another one of the like actors, Adam Sandler, there's a really cool thing going around with him where his acting teacher from school went, Adam, you don't have it. You need to find something else. And fast forward 10 years, he's at the peak of his power, getting $10, $15 million a picture, and he's at a bar, and his acting teacher comes in. And when Jim Carrey's acting teacher said, you know, you're not going to make it, they were actually at a bar and they were having this conversation over a beer. Anyway, fast forward, Adam Sandler's really successful. His teacher walks in and he calls his teacher over here. And this was the perfect time for Adam Sandler to shit on his teacher, basically going, I made it. And he goes, this is the only teacher that ever bought me a beer.
Wow. Yeah, man.
And so this is where, once again, intention. This is where, once again, perspective.
Yeah.
This is where a reframe, like, you know, what we focus on literally manifests in the physical lump of meat.
Yeah.
So it's like, are we focusing on positive versus negative?
Yeah.
And it's like, there's always negativity here if we want it. There's always positivity here if we want it. And and I think it's like, you know, we have free will. And it's like, you know, what are you choosing?
How do you get there though? Because I remember once upon a time when I was younger, and I don't know if it's just growing up, becoming a man and dealing with failure more, you sort of understand it's like, yeah, okay, fail faster. But I remember, like now, if we pitch for a project at Bleo and say it's for a restaurant or something like that, and it's fucking big and it's important and I'm all in, I'm like, let's fucking get this thing, and we lose it and we miss it, my next thought, I'm just like, fuck them. And I'm just like, we need to fucking get another restaurant, and because they're going to go with someone else, I'm going to fucking get another restaurant, and I'm going to make that fucking thing the most amazing thing that's ever been fucking seen, and I'm going to jam that down their throat.
Okay. So like,
lay on the table.
Lie on the table. We need to talk. So that's stick motivation.
What do you mean? Yeah, okay, let's talk to me about this.
So that's negative motivation.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like, I'm going to be better to screw these people. Like, fuck them. And it's like, I'm going to be better to rub it in their face.
It's not a malicious thing. It's more competitive.
It wasn't love, Blake.
Yeah. No, but it isn't. It isn't.
Hey, whoa, hey.
My intention.
Anything you say will not convince me.
Don't hit me. Yeah. Security. No, my intention, it is more competitive. It's like, whoa, I was like, business it's competition. It is ego. I'm here we've got to make money. We've got to compete. There's like so much of competing is ego. It has to be, right? Because I've got to be better than you. And that's governed by a certain set of rules, which everyone understands.
Can I speak?
No. But there's nothing malicious. It's more competitive. But you go. Okay, go
can I speak? I agree with you, but there's different levels of experience. You watch the table.
Okay.
There's different levels of consciousness within a particular experience.
Yes.
So you're saying it's a competitive dog-eat-dog experience.
Oh, it's a competitive dog-eat-dog. I wouldn't say dog-eat-dog. It's competition.
Okay. The moment you take your eye off what you're doing and focus on someone else, you dilute your product. So what I would suggest, personally, as a higher level of consciousness that elevates you above your competition to a point where there is no competition, we are the standard.
Yes.
Is I love what I do and I'm going to sell my love. If these people say no to me, they're not saying no to who I am, they're saying no to the pitch.
Yeah.
So then I've got an opportunity here to clean up my pitch, to be a more loving, connected person.
Yeah.
Or thank you so much for saying no, because we're an energetic mismatch.
Yeah.
I don't actually want to work with every single person.
Yeah.
I want to help heal every person,
Yeah.
but not every person is an energetic match. Not every person is at that point in time where they're ready to pick their fruit.
Yeah.
Now, from an ego perspective, I want to be the man. I want to be the person that helps every single person. I want to pick everyone's fruit and it's like, look what I do. Look how good I am.
Yeah.
But my role with this person may be to plant a seed.
Yeah.
They're still a mile away from having a healing experience. They're still a mile away from the sale.
Yeah.
So it's like I may have helped to clarify this company's goals, and that's all my process was here.
Yeah.
And then instead of thinking it like a failure and I didn't win the contract, it's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
We're an energetic mismatch. Thank you. I pray that you do well, and I pray that we do well.
Yeah. I do say that. I'm like, listen.
Don't change your story now.
No, because there's an on the surface ego, and I get it. Like, I don't indulge in that frustration. I feel it, and I'm like, fuck, right? We didn't get it. I really wanted that, and there's that on the surface. But then it's like, fail fast. Okay, cool. How didn't we convey and give them confidence that we are highly capable and the best match for this now?
Yeah.
And then it makes me reflect, and we sharpen our sword, right? I'm like, yeah, well, actually, like, look at our website. We don't have much in the way of that. Maybe we need to build our portfolio there. Oh, look, and this. Okay, cool. So it does, and it is an experience that I've come to now. I learn from, reflect, and look at how I can make better and go after it again. I did give that a little bit of energy that that enacted a bit of that rejection, but yeah, no, I hear you, mate. I 100% hear you.
Because I think all sales, fall in love with what you're selling and sell your love.
Yeah. Yeah. Then though, okay, we're going to open this can of worms.
Bring it.
Okay. With having a company, and you've got a target to hit every month. Otherwise, you're not employing people anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is this pressure that you put on yourself to sell, hit targets, and this is the egotistical, competitive side of that business world that you've got to step into when you're playing that game, or you don't, and you move the company with, you fire people or whatever it is, but there is that's the pressure of that game, and
once again, see how you're languaging it. What if it wasn't a pressure game?
Yeah.
Like, when you have kids, they got to brush their teeth.
Yeah.
We can say, brush your teeth.
Yes.
Or we can say, let's brush your teeth.
Yes. Cool. Yeah.
And the 7 or 8 year old kid may be, hey, Dad, I don't have a proper program yet to brush my teeth. I don't feel like I'm capable of brushing my teeth effectively.
Yes.
Yet us as the parents are like, brush your teeth, do this, do this, do this. And we're projecting onto them, whether it's our kids or whether it's staff. A lot of the times, we need to hold the hand a little bit more.
Yeah.
So it's like, I always think, take complete responsibility for how your life is. If you're not happy with how it is, whether your company's functioning properly or not functioning properly, it's your fault.
100%.
So then it's like, if we're not meeting our targets, it's like, why?
Yeah.
And it's like, do people perform at their best when they're being told or pushed or poked at, versus do they perform at their best when they're being loved and cared for and nourished? Now, it's a delicate blend between having a family environment versus being productive. And there's a delicate balance within that. Because it's like, it's not a family, this is a business.
Yeah.
And we can have fun when we're in the business, but it's like, how can we support each other in being our best? But at the end of the day, we're not a family.
Yeah. It's so interesting, man, because the biggest, one of my core biggest values at Bleo is the culture. And that is the fun, the vibe, everyone you come in and you meet in here. And if we have someone come in for the day and do something, they're just like, what is it about? Something about this place and these people feel amazing. Yeah. So, but it is this balance of that versus what I was talking about before.
100%.
And performance.
And so when I teach people, I want people to learn by accident.
Yeah.
And so I want you to be having so much fun that you don't realize that you're learning shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, how can I make this such an easy, enjoyable experience that I would love to pass this on to someone else? So once again, it's like, just make it as fun and enjoyable.
Yeah.
Your job, make it as fun and enjoyable.
100%.
Brushing your teeth, make it as fun and enjoyable. Making your bed, make it as fun and enjoyable. Put some music on,
Yeah.
play, have a pillow fight, wrestle. And the same thing at work, have a pillow fight.
We do, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Some banter goes down here. I hear you. And fun. That is another core value. It's like you come here, you choose to come here to be with these people, to have a fucking great time and make some amazing shit. And that's it.
And I think most people don't know what they value. Most people have no idea what their values are.
Yeah.
And so once again, we wander our way aimlessly through life.
Do you think it's important for everyone to know your values?
I think it's important to know what you love.
Yeah.
And once again, it's like content versus context.
Yes.
Context is big picture.
Yeah.
Content is data.
Yeah.
So when someone comes into the clinic and it's like they've got a problem, and it's like, and then my mum said this, and then she said that, and then I'm not loved, and then that's all the data. That's all the content.
Yeah.
Bigger picture is she's saying that because she loves you. Why aren't you identifying with how much she loves you versus, she put the cup in the wrong place? So it's like more often than not, we get stuck on the content, not the context. Context is big picture.
Yeah.
The bigger the picture we are or we have, the less trauma we have.
Why do we get stuck in the content?
More often than not, we're not willing to change. More often than not, we value that so much.
We connect with it.
Correct.
We get something. Get some form of connection.
There's a juice or a payoff from that. So it's like, there's an attraction to it. Like I'm attracted to my drama. No one will ever say that language, but realistically, I'm attracted to the ex. I'm attracted to, and not physical attraction, but it's like I'm attracted to the this and the that and the emails and the text messages and the screw you and all that type of thing. Or there's an aversion. I can't face it. So it's like there's a healthy amount of, you need to actually face this demon that you're running away from versus, oh my God, I love this demon so much that I'm stuck in it. So it's like, attraction and aversion.
Yeah. It's interesting because, the connection with the content that you speak of can be bad. And that may be the way that someone knows what love is. Or they think that I grew up in an environment where...
You'll love me when you do this.
Yeah. My parents were like this towards me. They were... I knew they loved me, but this is how they communicated to me. And somehow in your life, you still need that now because that sense of connection is also a feeling of love for that person, right? Yeah. It's going through with our kids, seeing kids play it out so beautifully, don't they? And really just step back from it. And I see with my daughter Chloe, you can just see her just chipping away. My wife Leonie, and when Leonie gives into it because she loves her, and she's so like bothered by it, but she's trying to be so compassionate, and at the same time she's like, oh gosh, it's so frustrating sometimes, and I'm like, Chloe's getting that sense of connection. And she's found a trigger in you where she can connect with you, and it's good and bad. Like she's pushing in both of those boundaries, and it's an interesting one. That one.
And ultimately too, it's what are we feeding?
Yeah.
Because we can have the carrot in the ground and we can have the weed next door to it. And are we feeding the weed or are we feeding the carrot? Both are going to grow.
Yeah.
Both require attention.
Attention and balance.
Yeah.
And
this is where, in our garden of life, we can be selective. What do we choose to plant? We still need to look after it. And more often than not, when people come in to me and they're sick, it's like you just haven't been aware of the seeds you've been planting. So more often than not, what sort of life do you want to have? What seeds would you like to plant in your life? And once again, I would love to pick all the fruit and say, look how good I am. But the fact is, it's like it's your garden, it's your life. Here, let me help you to identify what and who is important to you, and then plant those seeds.
Yeah.
Water your garden, weed your garden, and then keep doing that. And until the day you die, you get the opportunity to keep planting seeds.
Yeah.
And those seeds that you're planting are the experiences that you'd love to have. So for me, when we work, we get fun tokens.
Okay.
And I got this from my mate Kane. And it's like these fun tokens, the money that we get, we then get to have fun with these tokens.
Right.
So Would we like to have a mortgage with these fund tokens? Would we like to have a car loan with these fund tokens? Would we like to be a slave to our existence with these fund tokens? Or do we want to be frivolous and just spend all these fund tokens on having heaps of fun? Once again, it's that balance between doing the right thing, in inverted commas, in being a good member of society, in getting a mortgage. Mortgage actually means death pledge.
Yeah, right.
So then all of a sudden it's like, we're now conforming, but now I'm a slave to it for 30 years. So it's like, that's cool, but just be aware what you're doing. Yeah. So it's like, you can be a free spirit, or you can be, in a mortgage, but it's like, what experience would I like to have?
Yeah.
What would I love to share with my kids? What would I love to do in this life?
Yeah.
And it's like, it'll spit bubble.
Say it there, spray it.
and ultimately it's like, what experience do I want to have?
There you go.
Yeah.
Hang on, bro. Hang on. Oh, it's just...
This is like amateur hour. Anyway, so I have run out of water and Blake is now going over there to get water. This is so professional. And it's the shittest water. Oh, that's great.
Great water.
Yep.
Shit container.
Great water shit container. Just like your jokes.
Spiritualism.
Just like your jokes.
And neat body or whatever you call it.
One of the funniest things that we used to do when we were living together is Blake was forever having tuna and rice and broccoli.
That shit hasn't changed, bro.
Really?
If mum goes out for the night, all right, kids. My kids fucking love it.
Really?
Yeah. Not broccoli, but
And it was literally you'd have green barley grass.
Bro, I still rock that, man.
Do ya?
Yeah. It's my staple. Bro, I can't even cook toast, man. So like tuna and rice to me is like gourmet, and you just change it up a little bit. You could just put corn in it one time, bit of broccoli here, sweet chili sauce, or maybe you just go more savoury.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, that shit, I'm red on that, bro.
Hey, how's your French?
Yeah, no, it's coming along.
Are you actually doing it?
Well, I know my vocabulary. I can listen to a conversation.
Are we?
And understand it. Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. But to comprehend and respond is another thing. And and I've just come to find that I'm such a practical person. I've got this brilliant Ray Dalio. Have you heard of Ray Dalio? Yeah. Have you done or seen his personality test?
No.
It's brilliant. I'm going to share it with you.
Oh.
Principlesnu.com, I believe, is the website. But he's obviously got one of the most successful hedge funds in the world, 5,000 plus staff, and his whole thing is about find the right person to do the right job at the right time.
Yeah.
And he's developed these principles over however many years. Like, he's an old man now, so maybe like 40 odd years. He's worked with like psychologists and all that type of thing. So they have their personality test, because I know that there's so many, and over the years in personal development, you go and you take the best parts of them. This one, by far, is the most dialed in that I've ever seen. And we used to send staff to Brisbane. It's like $1,000. They go up there for the day to do a course like this. And this one, it's free to everyone that wants to do it. They do it. And I think he's created the 17 different archetypes.
Okay.
And but then also he breaks into it, like how you think. Are you creative, conceptual, practical? How you apply or socialize. But one of the things for me was practicality came up so much with everything. And so when you start to look at this and I think back in on it, if I was in Vanuatu, where my wife's from, and everyone was speaking French, I reckon I'd fucking learn. I'd be speaking it. Give me 2 weeks. My wife would be laughing at me hearing that. But it's because I don't need to. I've got other shit that I need to do and spend my time on. Prioritize. And if it was practical for me, I can do it. And just one other quick thing with Bleo, I was so interested, and it made me reflect on it. Everyone, and so much of my life growing up, everyone's like, you're a really creative dude. Like, you're so creative. And I am. But it's driven by a sense of having to be being practical. And so I'm in a space where this fulfills so many other of my values and needs. And my creative mind and everything that has to do with my creativity is driven by my sense of being practical.
Yep.
My younger brother, on the other hand,
Aaron.
I want him to do this test, but someone like Aaron, man, if we're doing a music video or something, and I can call him up, he could be fucking, it could be the middle of the night, or he could be tiling, so he could be feeding cows, and I'll be like, bro, I need this idea for this, and he'll just go, bing, just go, bro, what you could do, and it'll be dynamite. And I can't. Oh well, I could, but that's not my genius mode.
Correct.
And I'll send this to you.
Yeah,
I'll
cool.
be interested to get your thoughts on it, because everyone I've given it to,
Yeah.
they say, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
Like that is so accurate.
Because doing something like that is a reflection on everything I am up to this point in time.
Yep.
So it's a reflection of, I'm answering those questions based on what I believe to be true today.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's who I will be in the future.
Yep.
So a lot of the times with these personality or the star signs or whatever, it's like, I'm now this person, and now that becomes my identity. Now I become locked into being a practical person.
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
So, and this is where, once again, with star signs are correct at a certain vector.
Yes.
Or at a certain point of view. So if we look up, we can see the star sign of Libra or Virgo or whatever it is.
Yep.
If we get in a spaceship and go to the side, some of those stars aren't even in the same constellation. So it's all based on perspective.
That's a great analogy. That. Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Write that one down.
Yeah. So if something's true, it's true from every angle. So this coffee cup is a coffee cup from this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle.
Yeah.
And it's like you have that same thing with a piece of paper. Like a person can hold up a piece of paper and I say, hey mate, what do you see? And you say, I see a rainbow. And it's like, no, I just see black.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm right, you're wrong. It's like, no. And you try and convince me that you're seeing a rainbow, but on my side of the page, it's black. So it's always based on perception and what we're looking through. So I love all of these personality profiles because it helps you to identify who you've been up to this point.
Yep.
But it's a limitation in thinking this is who I am moving forward.
Correct. Generalization. It's something I apply even in business is I catch generalizations. If someone comes to me and they will say, and they give me a feeling about what's happening, or they'll generalize something, and I'll be like, whoa, are they really though? But it'll be, are they really? Or is it really?
Yeah.
How many?
Yeah.
Show me the data, and let's look at it. And it's like, oh, actually no. Well, out of 10, it's only been 2, and that's the normal for the last 5 years of this being happening. So
and absolutely, and us as humans, we generalize a lot. I've tried everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
That never works. Never.
Yeah.
And it's really sort of catching the language that we use. Because that language that we use lights up the nervous system, and the nervous system creates a chemical cascade, and that's what we experience.
Bro, how important do you think self-talk is?
Self-talk is very important. Observation of self-talk is more important.
Yes. Yep.
Because the self-talk, like, sit down, observe your self-talk, and say stop. More often than not, the voice doesn't stop. So then it's like the voice isn't who we are. So we can override that voice with positive self-talk or whatever else. One of the coolest things I ever remembered from a success perspective is Pat Cash when he won Wimbledon. He said, I had to be a Wimbledon champion before I won. And then I had the social proof to prove that I was a Wimbledon champion. So before you actually succeed in everything, you need to be that thing already.
Yep. Yeah.
So what I find is really interesting is observe your self-talk with no judgment. Oh, I've done it again. Oh, I'm saying, oh my God, I keep saying, don't worry about it. Just see what is on loop. See what DVD is being played in your head. And just observe it and go, yeah, actually, I don't like that. And it's not a judgment per se. It's like, actually, I don't like the video that's being played. Okay, what video would you like to be played?
Do you think affirmation, incantation are good for people to do?
Yeah, but once again, that's a doingness.
Yes.
So it's like, oh my God, I'm a shit person because I didn't journal today. I didn't do my breath work. So I find breathing is a byproduct of who we be.
Okay.
I breathe shallow. Okay, so then take a big deep breath. So, and I always think too, is it practical to use in daily life? So for example, if we get into an argument, I just go, excuse me, mate, I just need to... Let's hold hands and breathe together.
Minty fresh.
Yeah. And it's like, hang on a sec. Halfway through an argument, I need to journal. Or halfway through an argument, I need to shake it out.
Yeah.
So it's not practical to do, when you're driving a car, you can't close your eyes and breathe. So then if I'm reacting in life, it's not doing more shit. It's who I be is reactive.
But that's easy to say.
Absolutely.
So,
but once again, it's like you don't become jacked just by doing one workout.
Yes.
So this is the daily practice. This is the devotional act. This is
the discipline, the routine. And so, but how do you discipline yourself and create a routine to take you to that place of being? And is it activities like affirmations and things?
To be honest, it's less about the affirmation.
Yeah.
And it's more about who you be to be the affirmation. What's the point in doing the affirmation? The affirmation is to have something in particular or to feel something in particular.
Yeah.
So it's like, why do you want that goal? Because I want to feel connected, or I want to feel loved, or I want to feel important. Okay, cool. So what's behind that?
Yes.
So it's a great way to go, now I am, and it's like, it's great.
Yeah.
But that's just a form of brainwashing as well.
Yes. Is that also, though, like you use the analogy of going to the gym and training and training a particular muscle, like you're doing this repetition to get a certain result.
100%.
Is it the same within the mind? Like,
but you can
telling yourself, oh, I'm a fat slob.
Yeah.
Or if you just keep drilling yourself with, I'm a fucking fitness freak. And does that help with conditioning?
Yeah, definitely. Like I remember going to a particular CrossFit gym, and it's like, get angry at the weight. And I'm looking at the weight going, it's done nothing to me. Like, why am I getting angry at the weight? And it's like, die motherfucker, die music. And it's like, raw, get angry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't have anything to get angry about.
Yeah.
I just want to lift weights because it's fun.
Yeah, that's right. You're out the back with a big smile on your face.
Hey. Yeah, that's right. So, and this is where it's like you'll resonate with certain gyms because they're on your frequency, they're on your wavelength.
Oh, yeah.
And so, if you are going to lift weights, you can lift weights angry. That's fine. Or you can lift weights as an expression of what this body can do. It's still the same, it's still the same range of movement.
Yeah.
Completely different motivations with why we're doing it. And certain motivations will be apparent at certain particular points in your life and even in a given week or month. But ultimately, for me, it's about doing things as much as you possibly can with as much love as you possibly can. Now, that may not be a realistic target because a person is so much anger, and it's like, literally, push your anger, and focus on the person that you're really pissed off with and just keep going until you can't focus on it anymore. That could be a therapeutic practice. One of the things that I love too, there's these things in the body called hope molecules.
Okay.
The harder you push, the more these hope molecules get secreted. So if you think about it, when you're in a life or death situation with a lion or a tiger or a bear, there's no hope. So it's like, if I'm fighting really hard, as my effort and energy increases, so does this hope.
Right.
Because it's like, I've got to get through this. I've got to see my kids again. I've got to make sure that they're safe.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're just going to the gym and just doing okay stuff and you're not really pushing very hard, these hope molecules don't get secreted. If you go into the gym and push really, really hard, these hope molecules, it's like literally life or death survival. And that's where you feel good. That's where you get the endorphins going from, because you're pushing so hard that your body thinks it is a life or death situation if I don't get away.
Yeah, wow. That's cool. That's really cool.
It's super cool. So this is where it's like, I love tapping into these survival mechanisms that are inbuilt. Like it's literally in every single person.
Yeah.
And most people don't have much hope because they're lazy as fuck.
Yeah.
They've never really pushed themselves. They're living a life of quiet desperation.
Love that one.
Where, the only activity I do is I get up, I go to the couch, I go to my job, I do this, and it's like they're literally living at 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
You know, a muscle grows when it gets challenged. Our beliefs and opinions grow when we get challenged. You know, diamonds are created with pressure.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think adventure is just fire for the soul. I feel like it's something that can't be emulated by anything else. And I do feel like modern society with screens and being stuck in the concrete jungle, so to speak, like we're in captivation as opposed to being out and experiencing adventure, being scared, having a bit of fear of something and going through that is it's fucking so important to feel that, right?
So we got two major nervous systems. We got the parasympathetic and the sympathetic.
Yes.
So parasympathetic is rest and digest.
Yep.
Sympathetic is stress.
Right. Yep. I remember these.
No, you
This
don't.
is going back.
No, you don't, bro. Like, let's be serious. You weren't. No. So sympathetic is fine motor skills.
Yep.
So when we're on our phone, when we're on the computer, when we're welding, it's fine motor skills. So it's like it takes a lot more effort and energy to do the small things.
Yeah.
That's when we increase our stress. Parasympathetic is views, it's vistas.
Right.
So one of the greatest things we can do biologically is walk up a big hill, look up and be on top of the big hill. We've got 360-degree view, so we can see every single potential attacker come towards us. And while I'm looking at the view, taking everything in as far as my vision can, it's actually relaxing and resting.
Ooh. I hear you, bro.
So it's like if I want to get stressed, do stuff right in front of you.
Yeah.
And be as finicky as you can with it. If
Yeah.
you want to relax, exert yourself, because biologically, if there's lions and tigers and bears around here, I'm not going to sleep my 7-8 hours. So what we do is we get the family, we walk 20 miles that way.
Yep.
So we burn the cortisol that was created from the stress response, and now we're in a safe environment. We can decompress, and now we're going to sleep better.
Bro, I think you just hit the nail on the head with the correlation about being in the outback of Australia. So have you ever been out like west, like you're on Mars?
Nah, bruh.
Nah. Okay. You got to do it. And
Got to?
got to. Does
everyone got to do it?
Everyone's got to do it. I think it's a spiritual experience where they're like, well, what's out there? And you're sort of like, nothing. And they're like, no, but like, there's absolutely nothing out there, and it's flat and it's red. But when you're out there and you just have this horizon line, which is 360-degree views around you in this enormous sky, and you can just see there. I tell people, like, there's something so magic about that feeling, and I think a lot of what you just said was probably inside of that, where you're just like you can't help but look up and out.
Well, this is the thing. It's like it's internal versus external.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't switch off at night time. It's like, okay, you're not doing red light therapy enough, or you need to go out when the sun's going down, and all this sort of bullshit. That once again, more doing this.
Bullshit.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it's like if you go camping,
Yeah.
and it's like you get away from technology, and you're just hanging out with your mates, and you're in nature. You're going for a swim or going for a hike or something like that, and it's like you're sitting around the camp TV, which is the bushfire in the middle. And it's like, oh shit, it's so late. You look at your watch and it's like 7:45. And it's like you're not forcing anything. You're not forcing anything. It's like you're literally just in harmony with the big planet that we're cruising around on.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I find. It's like we're so disconnected from who we truly are.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like we're waking up first thing in the morning with no alarm. Like if you're hitting your alarm 10 times in the morning, it's like you're out of balance.
Yeah.
Like I cannot remember, getting up with an alarm. So for me, it's like there's an internal alarm, and it's like, righto, get up at 4:00, and it just seems to work.
Yeah.
Get up at 7:00, and it's like, bing.
It's incredible, hey.
Yeah. So I think we're constantly in this battle of parasympathetic, sympathetic, rest and digest versus, stress. And that's where it's like a lot of the society now lives in a wired and tired system where it's like we're just fried. And then all of a sudden it's like now being in nature is not safe.
Yeah.
Because we're so used to the noise of the city.
Yep. So, I mean, like a conversation I had yesterday, I took my son to a birthday party and I was just having a chat with a dad. And we were talking along the lines of, I heard this quote, I think it was last week or the week before. And I can liken this to, I'll change it a little bit, but I'll wrap it around adventure. It said,
I'm going to make it mine.
It's mine.
Actually, this dude said something. I'm not going to say it.
I should have just dropped it. I created this. No. I'll tell you what it actually was. It said, in life, on a day-to-day, you have 1,000 problems. When you're sick, you have one problem. And the chat that we had was around adventure and taking our boys as they were becoming men and having them comfortable with adventure and traveling around and doing those types of things. Because in life, and you've got access to screens and you're just constantly impulsive with everything, you've got 1,000 problems or 1,000 things to focus on. When you're out in the bush and you don't have water, you got one problem. And it was just this really, and we were just talking around that. And so I think it's nature. Some of the most, my biggest role models in life have spoken around nature, the importance of it. And again, with what you were saying, like I get up every morning, I can't resonate with the gym. It's really hard for me I really have to force myself to go in there. And then when I'm in there, I don't really enjoy it anymore. I used to love it. But now my routine is I just go over to the beach in my boardies, no shoes, and I'll do my calisthenics. The sun's coming up. I can see the ocean. And there's just something about it. And even if it's fucking raining, I'm still there. And I fucking love that even more because there's no one else there. And I'll do that in the morning and then I'll go for a swim. And it's so important. When I walk down to the beach, I just always find myself, the first thing I do is I look up and I walk down and I'm just like, fuck, this is amazing. Let's go back to Dubbo. No, you know, that creeps in my mind all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of like, I'm just so grateful. Nearly every morning I just go, wow, look where I am. And swim. And that's my little morning routine. But I sort of talk around that with, I think, the importance of nature, adventure, and still having that connection with country, as my ancestors would say. And it's just so important. I think we are, as humans. There's so much to be learnt there. Leonie's dad, he talks about it all the time, like about meditation and just being in nature. Just sit down and he's got this brilliant broken English, husky, Blake. He's like, sit down, watch the river. And I'm like...
He sounds like Mr. Miyagi.
Bro, he sounds like Mr. Miyagi. And, oh gosh, you know, we've had some great chats. But there's this common thread with nature. And same with my Uncle Harold, my nan's brother. And he's got some beautiful stories, man, like being in the outback and nature. And I connected with one of his stories. Michael and I, so my Indigenous side, my nan's brother, Uncle Harold, he's a prolific character in, I think, our whole family's life because he's documented. He's written some beautiful books, man. And I was so fortunate enough, I think he was probably 93 at the time, and so switched on and just built like a fucking brick shit house. And he was just massive hands and he'd be, hey boys, how are you? And he'd hit you and you'd be like, whoa, and like so strong. And he was telling us this story where he didn't, when he was young, their younger brother died and I think it was pneumonia. And he was told at the funeral at a young age to stand and ring the bell at the church. And he never really got to say goodbye to Teddy. And he just said, all I just remember was him just laying there and just seeing his black curly hair. And he went into the church and he goes, but I never got to say my goodbye. And at an older age, I don't know when he was writing these books, but he was saying that he was started to write about him and he just felt this emotion just coming out of him. And he just like wept and cried. And he was somewhere at like a writer's haven or somewhere in the country and there was no one around and he just sort of like looked over and just saw this tree which was just so far away from him. I don't know if it was a kilometre or what it was, but he walked over to it and just grabbed and held onto this tree and like basically gave this tree a hug and he just felt this like this like this, and I was just like, what a fucking beautiful story. And I was just like, that's amazing. And Yeah. So nature, adventure.
Well, two things. I've written a book called Healing is Easy.
Yes.
And while I was sitting at my desk next to my bookshelf, I could see my mum sitting on a chair.
Far out.
It was so bizarre. The first day I'm like tapping away at the computer, I've looked up and it's like, hey, mum. Mum passed away.
Yeah. Right.
So, but her presence whilst I was writing this book was profound.
Right. Oh, you could literally.
I could see her.
You could see her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Was it dark? Was the room dark?
No.
No. It was
like,
you could literally just.
Yep.
You could literally see her. Were you shocked? Were you just like?
At first, it was like a state where like I was just in total shock and didn't move. I questioned whether I was breathing.
Yeah. Right.
And didn't know what to say or do. And then, there was no interaction apart from, hey, mum.
Did she respond?
No. Just would sit there. And it was almost like an approval type thing, but not in a negative way. It's like, keep going. You're on the right path. Keep going. You're on the right path. So, yeah, that was a beautiful experience of just connection.
Yeah.
And since the book's been written, I haven't seen her again.
What's the book called?
Healing is Easy.
Healing is Easy.
Mm-hmm.
That's published?
About to be published. I've actually got a course coming out with Healing is Easy, and it's basically 10 different techniques.
Yes.
That looks at the adrenals or the liver or the gallbladder or the heart or the immune system, emotions.
Yeah.
And basically it's one testing exercise to see if you're stressed about something.
Right.
And it empowers, parents, families to be able to help our loved ones through their stress and through their life.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. So the idea was to make healing as easy as it possibly can be. And it's like, this is a gift that I would love every family to pass on to the next generation.
Yeah.
Like, you think about your wealth and what you'd like to give. It's like, this is what I want to give every family.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do to help ease suffering in not only your family, but everyone else's family going around.
So when's that coming out?
April.
April. Where will people be able to find it?
It'll be on darrenmanser.com.
Yeah.
And Amazon.
Cool.
And yeah, I've got a couple of courses. I've got like the layperson course, I like to call it.
Yeah.
And then I've got the professional course, where literally every single technique that I know is in the professional course. The idea is to make it basically so cheap that it's a yes.
Yeah.
It's a volume model. So for me, it's not about how can I maximize my profits from you. It's literally how many hands can I get this in.
Yeah. Wow.
And the ultimate goal with this is to have healing is easy in like literally every home.
Yeah.
Where, we talk about target market, humanity
Yeah.
is in a lot of pain. So it's like, how can I help as many people as we possibly can in every country on planet Earth to have something to assist themselves and the next generation? Because more often than not, we're powerless. Like, my son or daughter is struggling, and it's like, what do I do? So it's like, how do we know whether it's a structural issue or an emotional issue, or it's like they're stuck in a stress response or their liver's not working properly? And it's just these little techniques that are responses to the physiology of the body. So for example, when we're stressed, the first stress response in the body is the big toe tucks under.
Really?
Yep. So if you're standing up, the big toe will grab the ground and you'll lean forwards, your calves will get activated, and then your jaw will clench.
Yeah, wow.
So it's like everyone that gets stressed does that. Why? Because now we can run and jump from that position. Right. We can stand still in that position and we're good to go. But you think of everyone that wears high heels, they're literally leaning forwards, big toe grabs the ground, and we'll have a bigger arch in the foot, but eventually the arch will collapse because we're adrenally exhausted.
Wow. That's interesting. I gotta get my daughter to see you. Hey. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, to be honest, it's like every time I did a course, it would be, I could use this for my dad, or I could use it for my sister, or I could use this for, and there would always be people that pop up.
Yeah.
So for me, it was always how can I use this to help someone else?
Yeah.
And the ultimate goal for me is literally helping as many people as we possibly can to make the world as good as we possibly can. And ultimately, the goal is for more people to be inspired, for more people to be loved, for more people to be loving. And it's not necessarily to get the world full of healers, because that's not your calling, or it may be. But it's like, literally, what's in your heart, and do that. We need passionate builders. We need passionate plumbers. We need passionate media executives. We need passionate real estate agents.
Yeah.
And for me, it's about helping people to find their passion and to live the greatest hormonal life they possibly can.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we can have negative hormones being flooded through the body, or we can have positive hormones flooded through the body. The nervous system responds to what we focus on. So let's focus on positive stuff.
Let's fucking do it.
There was one other story that I wanted to share about the nature.
Yeah.
I hate the beach.
Okay.
So when I was teaching Blake massage, we would do school between, I think it was 9 and 12.
Those are the days.
And then I'd teach massage. And basically, the massage would be I do a demonstration, and then the class pairs up and you give a massage and receive a massage, and then you swap over.
Yeah.
Then we'd have lunch between 12 and 1, and we'd do another modality in the afternoon between 1 and 4. And Blake, every lunchtime, we'd be like, Darren, let's go for a swim. Let's go for a swim.
Go to the beach.
Yeah, let's go to the beach. Let's go for a beach. And we'd literally cross the highway, go to the beach and have a swim.
Yeah.
And I grew up swimming in swimming pools.
Yeah, right.
And no waves, no nothing. And it's like, so sand. Oh my God. Sand in the toes. This is bullshit. And Blake's like, oh my God, how good is it? I'm like, yeah, it's good. Anyway, I remember this one day, I'm body surfing. So, I learned it fairly fast because I could swim. And I remember getting dumped by a few waves.
Yeah.
Anyway, that afternoon, I'm teaching Swedish massage, relaxing massage. So there's a lady on the table. I'm massaging her leg. The entire class is around. And as I'm massaging her leg, teaching the different techniques, and the class is observing what I'm doing, I've leant over and water starts pouring out of my nose because I was dumped by a wave.
Little waterfall.
And it goes straight on her leg.
So what'd you do?
Rub it in.
Rub it in. Yeah. It's magnesium, right? Most of it.
Right? So I'm like, oh my God, this is like the worst moment of my life. Just rub that shit in.
What about the day that I got fucking stark naked accidentally in front of everyone? That was a pretty bad day.
So there was a lady that was at the college as well, and she was probably 40-year-old virgin type thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, Blake on this day didn't wear any jocks in, and it was a leg massage. And so normally you'd get undressed, you'd have your underwear on, and Blake's lying down on his back. He's got the towel appropriately draped. Anyway, she's pulled the towel back, and what normally would be underwear. Yeah. Your old fellow just going, hey.
Well, like, what could I say? I didn't, anyhow. Yeah, that's what happened. And I feel like I got to know everyone quite quickly after that day. Yeah. No, it was cool.
And now what's just popped up is one of the funny things that you used to say was that it's kind of hot in this mechanical rhino.
Oh, shit. No, they were cool days, man. That was awesome. It's crazy that I've magnated back to this place, Miami, like this.
It's funny, like when you said that it's down here, it's like literally where we learnt massage, or where I taught you massage is like literally like a couple hundred meters away.
It's down the road from my house. It's crazy. This is my hood, man. Like, I love it here. It's it's getting a bit busy now with all of the roadworks and all that sort of shit. It's becoming literally like the Bondi Beach of the Gold Coast. And like, to find parks, it's just crazy. But I don't know where else I'd go. Like,
get a helicopter.
Yeah, go do that. Right? It's on the list. It's on the list. Yeah. No, cool, man. How are we going for time? What time do we kick off here?
I
Don't know.
We're good.
We're good? Yeah, sweet.
So, what is one pearl or wisdom? Oh, here you go. What do you think the meaning of life is?
Jeez. God damn. Oh, yeah, okay. That's interesting. Oh, look, the first thing that comes to my mind is to share experiences with each other. That's it.
Nice.
And you?
To evolve and grow.
to evolve and grow.
Just literally to be a better version of yourself, the best version of yourself. Like, you don't know how many days you got to live.
Yeah.
So just be the best you possibly can with what you've got left.
Yeah.
So it's like, if your canvas is X,
Yeah.
you may not finish painting your picture.
Yeah.
Get as much of your picture painted as you possibly can.
I like that. I do like that. Yeah. Yeah. I think share an experience. So just a huge thing for me now is like storytelling. Like, I really feel like all we have at the end of the day is our story. So, and if we have a story to tell someone has to listen to it. But so
you will listen.
But you have an experience in life, and if someone wasn't with you to share that experience, like going to the beach and it's this perfect day, so you share that experience with someone. But if they're not, then what we just did, you told the story and you share the experience, and people connect with it. They laugh, they cry, whatever it is. And even that interaction and connection from even the storytelling for the teller and listener, there's healing, there's excitement, there's joy, there's everything in it.
And connection is huge. Would you rather have sex by yourself or with someone else? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and this is where like, it's not necessarily the more people we have experiences with, but it's having experiences with people that really nourish us, and are like-minded to us, and it is, I believe, being open to having as many experiences as we possibly can with those people. And once again, it's like we live our lives most of the time doing the same shit, not poking our head up, and we're on this merry-go-round of life. And it's like, how can we have a better life? You know, how can we have more fun? How can we have more experience? How can we, nourish the people around us? So a really vulnerable question for me as a father is to ask my kids how I can be a better dad.
Okay.
And it's like, it's something really brave. Because they may go, do you know what? I can bang. And it's like, if you're not willing to hear what they have to say, it could actually really hurt your ego. Or it could be a beautiful way that's like, you know what, you're doing a great job. Thank you so much. And it's like, oh.
It's just so much about being a parent that you can relate into business.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's a relationship.
To be honest, mate, everything's relationship.
It is. Everything is relationship.
Everything's relationship. Whether it's filling up with fuel and having an interaction with the dude behind the counter. It's like, how do you interact with that dude behind the counter? Because how you interact with that dude behind the counter is how you interact with everyone in your life. Oh, no, it's not, because I do it differently there. Why do you show up differently?
Bro, there's the story that I tell about, if anyone, like when you talk about love, my boy Deepak.
My boy.
Do you listen to it or get on to? I used to be on it.
I remember you talking to Deepak all the time. Oh my goodness, Black Martin used to listen to him so much. And what's really interesting is the Indians, they get very excited and their eyes open up. Anyway, sorry.
But you basically paraphrase in essence what he writes about in I think it's like one of those 17 spiritual laws, whatever it is.
32.
75. But the one he talks about love, he tells it in a fable, and the whole book actually is written around King Arthur and Merlin, the wizard. Have you read this one?
I do recall you reading this. And banging on about it. 2.5 decades ago.
And it still resonates with me now, but he talks about love the same way. So Merlin, he comes into King Arthur comes into Merlin, and he's like, Merlin, I'm ready to champion a wife. I want a wife. And Merlin's like, what do you know about love? And he's like, that's what marriage and having a wife is all about. He's like, I don't know, but I'm just ready. I just want a wife. I'm ready to meet someone. I'm ready to have this experience in my life. And he's like, okay, all right. Boom. Clicks his fingers. This sort of old hag, cleaner lady, witch type looking thing comes in. He goes, here you go. And then King Arthur was like, whoa. And he was just so awkward around this person. And he's like, hang on, hello. And she's sort of waiting for him. And he goes over, he's like, Mel, why do you mock me like this? He's like, I tell you, I want to champion a wife. I want a bride. I want a beautiful lady. And he said, I want someone younger. And so, boom, he brings in like a baby. And he goes, here you go. And he's like, oh, I don't know what to do with this. And he's awkward again. And he's like, oh, look, someone take this baby. And he's like, oh, okay. And then the moral or the lesson in the story is that you are an essence of love. And you are that same essence, like I am with you. But I'm that certain essence with Leonie as well. With my kids, it doesn't change. There's just a different truth between us. And he goes into that a little bit deeper. The same way the service station guy at the service station, I give that guy my essence, and there's a truth and a connection there. And I do that with everyone in my life, whether they're babies, they're old, or whatever it is. And with different people, there is a truth.
I find though, as a parent, as a father, how much do you love your kids?
It's incomprehensible.
Yeah. Now have that feeling with every single person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, because I love my kids unconditional. So unconditional, that's now a version of unconditional love that I can now comprehend.
Yeah.
Now, can you feel that with every single person on planet Earth? No. It's okay. But that's what's preventing us from feeling love everywhere.
That's deep.
Yeah, buddy. So, and this is where, like, making it a little bit lighter, but it's, I normally say love everyone and everything, including yourself. Mm-hmm. So love everyone. Make a list of everyone you can't love. That's your work.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Love everything.
Yeah.
Make a list of all the shit you can't love. There's your work.
Yeah.
Including yourself. Make a list of all the stuff that you hate about yourself or you don't like about yourself. There's your work.
That's good, bro.
It's
practical.
Practical. And once again, it's like, it's just give me the shit that I need in order to live the best life.
I like that.
And it is so simple because it's not about being more loving per se. It's potentially about removing the roadblocks preventing me from experiencing the love that's already here.
Yeah. That's good, bro.
Yeah. What's your favourite quote?
Oof. Come on, man.
Come on. What do you got?
You go first.
Okay. I feel like, you know when you go skipping?
Yeah.
And you're doing...
You got to run in.
You're doing this one, so waiting for the rope to go around. I feel like I'm about to be whipped. So one of my favourite ones from ages ago, and you know, I've heard a lot of stuff over the years, but this was one that I really enjoyed as a teenager. And it was when I first started looking into personal development and the mind and spirituality, and it just really relates even now.
Yep.
Whilst there's breath, there's hope.
Ooh, yeah. I like that.
You're breathing.
Said by a true healer.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
You're breathing.
Yeah.
Like, there's still time. And there may not be complete resolution of your sickness, but how much better can I be with this sickness? And if you believe in you know, reincarnation, it's like, how much can I learn before? If you believe in Christianity, it's like you can surrender to God really quickly when your parachute doesn't open in a skydive. Like, you can undo a lot of negative crap really quickly. So for me, it's like, whilst there's breath, there's hope.
I love that. That's cool, bro. My one, I'll probably listen back on this and just go, I should have said this. But the one that is in my mind is there's not enough darkness in this world to put out the light of one single candle.
There's not enough darkness in this world. Okay.
Yeah, so one candle is enough light. There's not enough darkness in the whole world to put out the light of one candle.
Yeah, it's interesting because you can't shine darkness into a room.
Yeah.
Darkness is the absence of light. So we are all lit. So whilst we're breathing, it's like we're emitting this energy. So we are a living entity. And so for me, it's like every time we go into a house, metaphorically speaking, it's like we've got all these different rooms. So sometimes the trauma that we have is just an unopened room.
Yeah.
If you open the door and allow a little bit of light in, you realise it wasn't the big bad monster that you thought it was in the first place.
That's true.
Like, I can't speak to that person because of blah, blah, blah. Speak to the person, oh, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I actually made it up in my head.
That was something when I was younger. It was always like, do the thing that makes your heart beat faster. Like if you're sitting, and it was this really, I could sit there and just, and this has got me to do some stupid things and some really good things in the past.
Actually, there was this one time at an Anthony Robbins seminar.
Is that pissing off the balcony? Was that what you're going to say? No.
Well, there's a couple of them.
Yeah, no.
Actually, I do remember going to this Anthony Robbins seminar with you 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And we went to your grandma's house.
Yeah.
And then your mum's like, righto, you two are sleeping in that bed. I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, you and Blake are in the double bed over there. I'm like, nuh-uh. Yeah. And she's like, don't you sleep with your brother? And it's like, no, I don't have brothers. I got two. Right. I always get my own bed. It's like, not tonight, Darren.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, man. It's that shit growing up with brothers. It's just fucking.
And I remember it's like, don't you touch me.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
There's no spooning tonight. Yeah. And I remember putting the pillow in the middle. It's like, don't touch.
Yeah. No, that was good, bro. We became closer that night. We broke down some boundaries, didn't we?
Well, I remember this, like the light switch had these dangly bits.
That's right.
And we were lying on there.
That's right. Oh man, she just sold that house actually.
Really?
Yeah.
And I do remember there was like the old man that can't get to the toilet.
This was a learning experience. What are they called? What are those things called?
I don't know. The thing that you pee in. And
like a piss pot.
The piss pot.
It's like a little teapot.
You were about to drink out of it. I was like, no.
I thought it was a little bong, and I put my mouth up to the edge. Obviously, where Bob's
like, no.
going there. Yeah. And he's like, whoa, stop.
I know.
Slow motion. I was like,
but then part of me was like, nah, do it.
Yeah, that's right. There's still a bit in there. What was that? Salty. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, gosh. There are many, many stories, man. Far out.
I love you, bro.
Love you too, brother. Thanks for coming down, man, and doing this.
It's a pleasure.
Let's get you back. Let's do it again.
And I think too, like, if you've made it this far, you're a special person. Because we've talked a lot of shit.
Yeah, that's right. But you know, we actually haven't gone on the level. Like we sort of went. It was cool, bro. I love the stuff that this pushed into today. I loved it. I was just sort of like, oh fuck, how crass are we going to take this thing? But
it was pretty good.
It's good.
But I think, like, once again, intentional prayer is such a powerful thing. And anytime we do anything, it's you know, the energy that we put into it.
Yeah.
This is where home cooked meals from your mum or your grandma taste different. And you can cook exactly the same thing, but it's like when it's cooked by a loving person, you're eating the love.
Yeah.
So anyone who does listen to this, I pray that they have ease in their life. So no matter what's going on in your life, no matter what trauma you're in, no matter what is uncomfortable for you, there's a solution there. I pray that all of the pain and suffering that you're going through melts away, and that you are able to find the joy in your life and have greater experiences so that you become happier and happier. And it's like, I truly pray that every single person that listens to this has that experience in life so that they're able to share their joy with the world in a greater way.
Amen, brother. I second that. Thank you, man.
Pleasure.
Appreciate you, bro.
Love you.
Love you too, bro. Let's do it.
What do we do now? Are you clapping me, or do I clap you?
No, that's all right. Oh, we'll wrap up. I'll clap you. I've got a clapping button. That was cool, bro. What time did we start?
8:30. Is it recording still?
Still going. The other thing is the first podcast I did, I just listened to myself back, and I was just like,
how cringy was it?
Yeah. I was like, whoa, do I sound like that? Like, and I just found a new challenge to go, I want to be an amazing speaker. I think I'm a good listener, and I want to be a better speaker. And so I've started doing like a number of courses and little things like that, checking my filler words. There's so many times I used to have, like is one I'm still working on. You know, I've really tried to push that out.
So one of the things that I would suggest is pick one word and have a word for the week. And every time you say like,
Yeah.
I don't care where you are, drop and do 10 push-ups.
Oh, yeah, right.
Because all of a sudden it's like, if you're in a business meeting, it's like, excuse me guys, and you drop and do 10, they're like, what the hell's going on? Okay, so this is about personal accountability. This is about me bettering myself, and every time I say I've got to do 10 push-ups because I didn't realize it was part of my subconscious programming that I want to get rid of.
Cool. I like that.
And then all of a sudden it's like, you will be so motivated.
Yeah.
And once again, it's like, that's the stick.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, it's like, I've done it again.
Yeah.
10 push-ups.
Yeah. And it's given me this deeper appreciation now for great speakers, great listeners. Just
It's a skill. It's an art.
bro, it is the art of dialogue and a conversation.
Correct. And this is where there's the science of healing people and there's the art of healing people. It's two different things. There's the science of painting,
Yeah.
and there's the art of painting.
Yes.
There's the science of making a sandwich and the right ingredients and the right mix and whatever else. And there's the art form. Like, and ultimately it's like, let's be artists with our life. Let's paint our life. Let's make the most creative life we possibly can.
Yeah. 100%, bro. Can I just say, bro, when you sent me your podcasts, your previous ones that you've done, fuck, you speak so well, bro. You speak so well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, again, it's given me a deeper, because I know you, and I've known you forever, and I've listened to you babble on with all your shit. No, but I know you so well, right? And you've lectured me, we've sat as mates and talked, we've shared experience, heartfelt experience, we've cried, we've laughed, we've done so much stuff. And then when you dial in and I listened to you on a podcast, I was just like, wow. Because
it's probably something you've never actually seen within me.
No, it's not, bro. I hadn't. And so, but it's because now I've taken a liking to the craft and I'm appreciating, I'm in the game and I'm just learning the intricacies now. I'm listening and I'm watching more. And then when I listened to you, bro, I was just like, wow, I was impressed, bro.
Oh, thanks.
So yeah, well done, man. Credit to you.
I don't know.
Yeah. A dabble.
Well, I try my best.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. It's like, I just think if you're going to make a sandwich, make a good sandwich.
Yeah.
Like, don't make a shit sandwich.
Yeah.
And in a way, I feel like if you do something long enough, eventually you become really good at it.
Yes.
If you do something long enough, eventually you become a leader in that field. And I was never smart. I remember going and doing these aptitude tests with my family and they spend a heap of money and it's like, Darren will never go to university. Darren's not smart with mechanics or anything like this. And then all of a sudden that became my identity because these people in a position of authority then said, I'm not that type of person. Then I bought into it. And it wasn't until I found kinesiology where it's like, I just remember shit.
Yeah.
Like kidneys. So kidneys were on page number 64 in the big green book. On the left-hand side, it was this, the right-hand, and it was just like, it got stuck and I'd memorize it. And it wasn't because I was trying to memorize it, it's just, this is my jam, and it's like, boom. And for me...
Your recall.
Yeah, 100%. It was like photographic.
Not for me.
Yeah.
Not so much.
But that's because it's like, God, Mother Nature, the universe. It's like, hey, here, this is easy for you.
Yeah.
But it still requires effort.
Yes.
And so for me, it was like, it just really spoke to my soul, and this is why I wanted to do this.
Awesome.
And now, part of my motivation with doing courses and creating content is literally to leave a trail of breadcrumbs for my kids, where ultimately at some stage I'm not going to be here, and I would love them to know why I did stuff, how I did stuff, and it's like, one of the things I missed with my mum being passed away, it's like, I didn't have enough videos of her. Like, I didn't have enough content for me to go back and soothe my soul with it. So in a way, it's like I'm doing this for myself and I'm doing this for everyone else that I possibly can. But ultimately, I'm doing this for my kids.
Yes, bro. Amen.
And so I'm sharing as much knowledge as I possibly can so that they can have an experience with me when I'm not here.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, Dad, oh my God, Dad said this, Dad said that.
Yeah.
And it's like, whether they consume it or not, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm at peace with it. But one thing that I wish I had when Mum passed was more connection with her. And so it's doing it in a way that is, not only nourishing my spirit and nourishing as many different people as I possibly can, but also, ideally nourishing them. And it's thinking about, their health and well-being beyond, my experience in this world.
Yeah.
I normally think about the lump of meat, and what I do with a person is like a service of a car.
Yep.
And it's like, I'll do the best I possibly can in this service. How you drive your vehicle in between services, that's on you. It has nothing to do with me. And so ultimately, sometimes there's an education piece where it's like, you need to just eat a little bit cleaner. You need to, get out of the smog, or you need to drink filtered water, or you need to just take a few supplements because you're deficient in something. So, that's education. But ultimately, it's like, how do you drive your vehicle in between services? And it's like, we get the car serviced every 10,000 kilometres. It's like, well, when was your last service? Why aren't you looking after your health and well-being? And, there's emotional health and well-being, there's physical health and well-being, but it's like, we live spiritually in this lump of meat. How can we get this lump of meat to the end of its life as healthy as we possibly can, so we can have as many experiences in this lump of meat before we move on?
Bro, can I just say, my message to you with getting your, doing your book, doing your courses, I think it's so good that you're doing that. And just do more. Just because you have got so much knowledge, you've committed. I sent you that text. I said, I wanted to give you a well-earned introduction because of everything you've applied yourself to. Bro, there's not too many people in the world, and I think everyone they feel that when they come into your presence with the amount of knowledge that you've fucking just grinded to get over to now. Get it down, bro. Get it down, get it out. And I love that you are. I'm loving your shit, bro. I'm loving all that stuff.
And what's really interesting is a lot of the time, it's like, I didn't want to add more noise.
Okay.
Because to me, it's like, there's so much fucking noise in the world, and I didn't want to just have another voice out there. So for me, it was like, I'm just going to do my own thing.
An art teacher said to me once, and
what was the name?
His name, I think Mr. Wilkinson. All right.
Shout out to Mr. Wilkinson.
Yeah, he said this to me. Was it? He said a couple of things to me. There may have been. It was an art teacher. He was my art teacher, but if you didn't, all credit to you, mate.
Or whoever it was.
No, make sure. And because I used to sculpt, I don't know if you remember the sculptures or anything that I did yet.
Yeah, I remember you did one of a butt once.
Bro, I've done some crazy ones. But anyhow, people that know me, they know that I used to fucking kill in that game. But anyhow, and he said to me, just make sure that you're always creating, because when you're not, you'll be destroying. And that's the same with you. And now you just have the power with the internet, YouTube, whatever it is. And your biggest success, bro, will just be taking whatever it is. And as soon as you upload that video and it's there and it's for the world, celebrate that, bro.
And I think that's the biggest thing that I've actually overcome as well, is it's not for me to decide whether someone consumes what I put out.
Yes.
It's for me to put it out.
Yes.
And whether it's consumed or not consumed. And then there's feedback loops associated with that, and there's getting better, and there's being more professional and all that type of thing.
Yeah.
But it's about production of,
Yeah.
not whether it's going to be consumed or not.
Yeah. Yeah. Get it out there, bro. Get it going. It's you got so much knowledge, bro. You got to do
Cheers,
it.
bro.
Did we get there? Yeah. I love you, bro. I love you too, bro.
This is like part B.
yeah, that's right. I'm gonna just text Azzy